Hi all. So what I'm going to be talking about is actually tackling stigma, and as just announced, my name is Tom. So this is the first time in a long time I've done something like this, so a bit nervous. If it is quite obvious, I'm sorry. So next thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that I actually live with two of my close friends called James and Paolo, and I've just turned 29, so if you would notice, I am getting to become quite an old man. You know, I did shave this morning, so looking a bit trim. I have shaved, it's not looking too bad, but yeah, I live alongside friends and over in West London. To tell you a bit about myself and what's happened, back in 2004, in terms of the bad things, I went out on work holiday and we flew over to San Francisco. It was a great trip. San Francisco is amazing. If none of you have been over there, it's well worth going to. You can see so much. But then, unfortunately, we traveled over to Las Vegas, and I do not remember anything. Basically, there's pictures of me over there. Apparently, it was amazing, but on the one night I was over there, I fell down 51 marble steps. Yeah. And lost basically half of my head. It does mean, though, I guess on a funny thing, every time I go through an airport, every time I go through a club, everything goes off. So it can be quite funny, you know, so yeah. But also, I do have aphasia, so if you know, it may be quite obvious when speaking to you now, my aphasia is probably the bad side of it. Apart from having seizures, aphasia is the hard part of speech and language for me. In terms of seizures, obviously the hardest part of having epilepsy, I currently suffer with focal tonic, clonic, and simple focal. Normally I have it about once every 2 months. Tonic clonic, probably about every 3 months or so. And that's when I get an ambulance. My aim is to hit every single London hospital. That is the real aim. I think I've hit about 7 of them. And the last one I had was, I live over in Barnes, and so usually the ambulance picked me up because it was a lucky one. I was at home, so I managed to get myself into bed before the seizure happened. My housemate picked me up, realised it was going to happen, so called an ambulance. And for some reason, the ambulance didn't know that the Hammersmith Bridge at the moment is being repaired. So I was told I was in a seizure, so wasn't awake. But the housemate was on the ambulance as well, and the ambulance driver tried to go across the bridge, so it took him probably about 40 minutes to get to the hospital. So yeah, it'd be quite good if the ambulance knew that it was, that makes no sense. But yeah, it is the aim to get to every hospital in London. So while having seizures, one thing that I'm trying to do is volunteering. Because also having aphasia, my speech isn't the level that I'd like it to be and what it was before. So at the moment I'm doing Transport for London. I'm doing their museum in Covent Garden. So I don't know if anyone else is doing that as well. Is anyone else doing that as well here? No? Okay. It's a good place to do, and I do that over in, that is Covent Garden, but I do one of their other places towards Heathrow as well. And Borrow My Doggy, it is amazing. If none of you have done it, it's well worth doing. Basically, well, you just borrow my dog. If anyone else has a dog and they go to work, something like that, yeah, you just look after it. And I do love Cocker Spaniels, so that is one of my, that is the best things. And RNIB, unfortunately, my granddad is getting towards being blind, so I thought it would be the best thing I could do to start learning towards understanding the issues with the eyes, and that has helped a lot. And alongside Borrow My Doggy, I was looking after a Cocker Spaniel, and while on a bus over towards Shoreditch, I was with the dog, and it dogs are very clever, and it noticed I was going to get a seizure before it actually happened, and started jumping up on the chair that I was next to. I was on a chair, and it jumped up next to me and started barking. I didn't realise what was going to happen, and a lot of passengers around me sort of looked at the dog and probably thought it was so annoying. But the dogs really did understand that it was going to happen. And then obviously I went into tonic-clonic and was on the floor. What was good about it, and was quite funny, it was about 6, 7 o'clock, so everyone else was getting home from work. The double-decker bus was filled, but an ambulance was pulled in. Everyone else would kicked off this double-decker bus. So at about 6, 7 o'clock, it was quite funny. And I guess that is why the 3 C's at the moment, running at the moment, is so important. This is working. So I'm actually at college doing photography at the moment, and that's why essentially I'm always out and about taking pictures. It's kind of a shame while I'm here at the moment having to come here, because otherwise I'd be out just taking pictures. It's in my bag. Everything is in my bag. So as soon as we leave here, I'll be taking pictures around here. And I think there is quite a few good places around here to take photos. So if you all get your phone out, there I am. And this is what I did alongside Epilepsy Society and TfL a few months ago. And with you being at TfL, if you should post this again, it was very good. And yes, that was on all the tube stations in various places on the tube stations. And I was quite sad. As soon as it was posted, I got on the district line and essentially went on every station I could to get some photos of myself on the posters. And the latest thing that had been posted was on the Metro. I was putting on the Metro about some of my details that happened since the injury. That was quite interesting, but I guess that's it from me.